There's been a lot of cope lately in SJW circles about the failing traditional publishing book sales, both in comics and in science fiction. I'm going to go over them a little bit of both and their responses shortly. My name is John Delarose. I am the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction, a #1 best-selling author, award-winning comic creator, and I've got a bunch of books out everywhere. But right now, we're in the last days of A High School Girl in the Crusades, my new graphic novel, which is on Indiegogo only for the next 38 hours. We've been going up really well this week, so thank you guys so much for the tremendous support. We're bringing you fun. We're bringing you good content without any of the SJW nonsense. We're making comic books fun again. Please back it. That link is in the description below. All right, so yesterday, a group called Upstream Reviews, which is a wonderful website, posted a whole deal about SJW Book Sales. Now, SJW is the Science Fiction Writers of America organization, and these are the traditional publishing giants. They pulled these numbers actually from my videos. So they got these because I have a source within the publishing industry who is feeding me the numbers from the Science Fiction Writers of America. Here you can see Kat Rambo, their president, who harassed me back in 2018. She is selling like maybe 30 copies of her books. The current president of the Science Fiction Writers of America, gosh, his book sold, looks like total of 20 copies, 10 copies. Oh my gosh. It's absolutely dismal. So these are the people in charge of culture, the people who are supposed to be the big stalwarts of the industry. I'll put this link in the description below so you can read it yourself. These are real sales numbers. They come from real sales websites. And of course, it sent SJW crazies like Mr. John Scalzi himself. Or is it still Mr.? I don't know what happens when he wears the dress that often. I don't want to misgender you, John. Sorry about that. But it sends them into a tailspin. It's really fun. Now, a couple weeks ago, people were talking about Tom Taylor from comics and his gay Superman and how it's just been a train wreck in sales. Tom Taylor posted this crazy thread just like saying, you know, it was unprecedented sales, and then pointing to things that aren't real numbers but look kind of suspiciously like it might be okay. Just based on what he was saying. Now, I went through and I've already debunked that and shown that the numbers, the real numbers, are actually terrible for Tom Taylor's SJW Superman. They're not good. When he said unprecedented, and he was very careful about the way he phrased that, he meant unprecedentedly bad. And this is how SJWs do things. They always go on these passive-aggressive cope rants, just like that. And it's always way too long on Twitter. I don't want to go through Tom Taylor's tweets again. It's just obnoxious. The guy is insufferable. But, you know, he's got to learn to write. Maybe he can learn from me one day. All right, John Scalzi, though, is another matter. This is brand new today, and John Scalzi's going on a very similar rant about these book scan numbers. You notice that he'll be the same type. He'll be doing the same gamma mail rants where he alludes to the fact that actually things are good, and we're going to show you why they're not good very easily once you actually read into what he's saying in just a second. So here we go. John Scalzi.
Watching some dudes post my book scan numbers to prove I don't sell any books reminds me of when other dudes aired my, quote, lock-in book scan numbers to say I was underperforming at Tor and about to drop me. We announced a 13-book deal soon after, so enjoy those numbers, my dudes.
Well, notice again, he doesn't actually say he is selling any good books. He doesn't even say that lock-in sold a good amount of books. Obviously, that book was a failure, and it was shown by other people back in the day to be a failure. Now, there's a whole host of books since then, and they've been failing downward ever since this book deal did happen. I don't know how John Scalzi convinced these publishers to pick him up. He alluded to the fact on his Twitter that he might have been getting on his knees and performing certain acts for such things, but, you know, I don't have direct evidence of that, so I cannot comment on whether it's actually true or not. It's just John Scalzi's words, not mine. But we have shown, again, through all the sales over the course of the last several years that everything's been failing downward. Yes, his Old Man's War back in the day was a success, but that was the outlier, not the trend. The trend is John Scalzi cannot sell books, and he's losing big money for Tor with every single release that he comes out with. He made, I think it was $3 or $4 million on that 13-book deal. He has to make hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of book sales in order to justify that, and he's doing about a 1/10 of what he needs currently. Hey, maybe the next one will be a success. I don't know. but it doesn't look like it. Right now, it looks like the old trope of get woke, go broke is holding accurate. So here we go. What you're saying is we can expect another 13-book deal, says Kevin Parsons.
And he says, well, I still have another 7 or 8 to go.
It's amazing. It's been several years, and he's really slow on writing these books. But, of course, he's not getting any money, any new money, until those 7 or 8 are done. So here's some Ursula W. This is a
Hugo Award-winning author who doesn't sell books herself. Do they not know that complaining about how BookScan under reports is like a time-honored tradition? These dudes asserted BookScan reports 85% of book sales, which certainly gave me a hearty chuckle. Even if it's only 50%, these numbers are dismal, John. You're still not there. You need to be selling 20 times or more the amount of books that it looks like, and that's just not happening, my friend. Notice that it's just not a thing. John Scalzi never actually says what the real sales numbers are, and when he goes back and he actually talks about it, he doesn't talk about the sales of these books. He goes back to his sales circa 2016, talking about the Old Man's War, like we talked about before, was a success, and not the other book sales. He is definitely coping here. He is definitely projecting here. He is definitely showing that these numbers are accurate, that SJWs fail every single time, and he's really trying to put a good spin on it with spin. He has no new numbers he's showing us. He doesn't have anything different. He is not gaining money off of this. I'm sure he has not earned out his advances on many of these books, and it's just a train wreck for Mr. John Scalzi. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. So why do they care about how many books you sold? That's a great question, PTT7. The answer is that we need to show that SJW culture is a bad failure. We need to show that getting woke does make you go broke every single time. If we're going to change culture, the corporate groups are just downwind of what they think are going to happen. When they see that all this stuff is failing over and over and over again, there's eventually going to be enough pressure for these people to make profits. Believe it or not, there is a profit motive in entertainment, and they will have to shift their course. Once that happens, it's going to be a beautiful day. All these people are going to be out of business, shrieking, screaming, racist, sexist, homophobe is the reason I no longer have a job.
And I'm going to laugh very hard that day. It's getting there. We're seeing Disney movies that are more SJWs underperform at the box office every single time. We saw how The Eternals just tanked as they promoted it as the greatest LGBT triumph in Marvel Cinematic Universe history. Nobody wanted to watch it. Nobody wants to get lectured to. Nobody wants to deal with the degeneracy of John Scalzi's books. They're disgusting at this point, and it's obviously failing. So what's happening in culture is there's being a sea change. Everything's changing so much, so fast. Things are going in our direction. We're building a network on the outside of these corporations. We're building new products. We've got great stuff going on in Comicsgate, of course, with myself, with Ethan Van Sciver. We've got a wonderful thing going with Eric July, who is now building a conservative culture brand of his own and pushing that people actually buy conservative creator content and don't just support these corporations over and over again for the nostalgia brand. And it's really happening. John Scalzi doesn't have Marvel or Star Wars beloved things to fall back on. He's just hoping that people remember that Tor Books once published good books. But people don't buy books for their publisher like that. It's not the comic book industry, John. You're not going to have a success just based on the people of the past. You can write a book pretending to be Heinlein all you want, but you're never going to be Heinlein, and people know it. You're a fraud, you're a loser, and your books are not selling well at all. It's really funny to me, and that's why I report on it. That's all it is.
It's very important to them that I, and a few other select writers, are seen to be not all that.
Because you're not.
Because it's a bonding experience for them and makes them feel better about themselves, which, I guess, is okay. Glad I can help a few dudes work through their inadequacies.
As you can see, it's a normal passive-aggressive soy response. That's what he's been doing this entire time. He didn't show any numbers to the contrary. He, in fact, didn't even really state that the numbers are good anywhere. Just like Tom Taylor before him, it's unprecedented sales, all right, but that doesn't mean it's a good thing. So funny for me to watch these failures. We're going up. Everything of ours is doing better than ever before, and we can show those numbers. We demonstrate them. When we put up an Indiegogo like this, and I actually write a 22-page parody of my own book, and it's selling 200 copies, that would have never happened a year ago. We've got about double the support of what we had then. We've got about 10 times the viewers here on YouTube that we had back then, and things are growing, and you can actually see the views. You can see the numbers for yourself. I'm so excited for what's going on. Our next graphic novel is going to be freaking amazing too. It's going to blow the doors off of everything we've done before, and I can't wait for you guys to be here. All right, again, A High School Girl in the Crusades, about 38 hours left. I will be shipping these very soon. The book's done. I'm ready to get the book out. You can trust that we're going to have fun action adventure just like we do every single time, because we're not just sitting and waiting, writing maybe a book every year or year and a half like John Scalzi. We're cranking them out because I am fired up. I love what I'm doing. I love my books, and so do you guys. It's great stuff. All right, hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this, and we'll be back soon.